Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Greg Kimball, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Squadron Leader Guri Singh. We warmly welcome the delegations from the Royal Malaysian Navy, the Timorese Defence Force, and the United States Congressional staff who are in attendance this evening. We welcome the veterans who have served, those who are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Associations, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of the ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors and students on behalf of the following schools. From New South Wales, Holy Cross Catholic School, Kincumber, and St Joseph's School, Merewether. And from Victoria, Epping Views Primary School, Epping. If able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Students, you may be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's first World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this National Memorial Museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entry to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths of floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Walter Price. Walter Price was born on the 8th of November 1890 to William and Annie Price. He was born and began his education in Pichelba, near Wangaratta. The family later moved to Lima South, near Benalla, where William Price became a pioneer in strawberry and raspberry growing. Walter continued his education and went on to work as a farmer, most likely on the family farm. Walter Price enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force in early January 1915. He underwent a period of training in Australia before being posted to the newly formed 22nd Battalion, leaving for active service overseas in May 1915. The 22nd Battalion first went to Egypt, where the men continued training in the desert. In August 1915, Private Price was posted as medically unfit for a period of time. He then served on lighter duties before being sent to a training battalion in Zaytoon. The 22nd Battalion finally reached the Gallipoli Peninsula in the first week of September 1915. Walter was sent to join them a week later. They had arrived after a major offensives had died down and were not called on any conduct of any major attacks. However, the Gallipoli Peninsula was still a perilous place to be, with constant danger from snipers and artillery fire. On the 21st of November, just before dawn, Private Price and another man, Private Adam, were standing near the parapet. Adam recalled that Price was in great spirits at the time. He was telling me what he was going to do when he got home. As Price finished talking, a sniper shot him in the head. A doctor was nearby and quickly rendered treatment, but Price died on the way to hospital near the beach. Price's platoon commander, Lieutenant Davis, called it an unlucky shot. He wrote to Price's parents to say, "So passed away one of my best lads. Try and let the thought comfort you that he died nobly doing his duty. Greater honor hath no man than that." Others also wrote to Price's in Lima South to express their sorrow at Walter's death. The Reverend Bennett, a chaplain, wrote to say, "We all valued him for his quiet, sterling worth. Today his comrades are mourning a friend." His captain wrote, "I can assure you that his comrades soon avenged his death. Private Price was one of my best men with the Alpha Company, neat, reliable, and a hard worker. He was a fine soldier, and I feel his death very much." Private Walter Price was buried in Eri Burnu Cemetery near Anzac Cove. In Australia, his portrait was put up in the local state school in Benalla in hopes that students would learn a lesson in heroism and self-sacrifice from the old scholar. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. A photo of his headstone is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Walter Price, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in a hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not bury them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia, they will remember this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening.